Hello! It's been a while. Super Tower Remix here, bringing you the fourth installment of my all-in-one Jurassic World Evolution Sandbox playthrough. Now, I won't lie in saying that I am slightly disappointed that no one's come forward with carnivore suggestions for these enclosures here. I sent out something on my community post, and despite the fact it had 19 likes, only one person commented, but it was not really a suggestion, so I think what I'm going to have to do is just go ahead and do it myself. Just go freestyle. But first things first, we've got some unfinished business to clear up, and that is these Pentaceratops here. Now, for those who watched the previous episode, and if you stayed right to the end, I released a Crichtonsaurus. So while I'm getting these guys ready, oh yeah, hang on, I turned the music off. And the reason for that is I was trying out something earlier. So once this Pentaceratops does its thing, I am just going to quickly pause the game and I am be right back. Okay, and we're back. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I just had to readjust the audio settings so I can actually get some music playing in the background, because that would be no fun. Alright, so get those guys in there. And the idea is, for those who are new to this series, I am trying to make an all-in-one park. No hybrids, just all the in-game dinosaurs in one build. I'm doing okay so far. I've had issues with the Dilophosaurus who are in here somewhere. Oh, I think that's one of them. Here we go. I've had a few issues with these guys. These girls, rather. Oh man, that damn clipping again. And also the same issue with the Deinonychus, which in the first episode, it was all about these guys and trying to keep them happy. That was fun. And then over here, it was dealing with the forest needs of the it was the grassland needs of the Dreadnoughtus, as well as moving these guys into this enclosure from what is now the Deinonychus enclosure. Well, that's cool. Did I pick that colour? I don't recall seeing that colour before. I thought they were just all yellow. Hang on a second. Oh, did they change the colours or something? Did I pick the colour? Oh, something's weird here. I don't remember seeing that colour scheme before. Anyway, so trials and tribulations are trying to keep all the dinosaurs in one place, as well as trying to keep them happy. Now, these Pentaceratops are okay at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock them out, and then I will drag them to the Iguanodon enclosure. So while they are being trained, I am going to give you a good view of the Crichtonsaurus from the end of last episode. No, Crichtonsaurus. Here we go. Settling in, nice and happy. So the idea is, because of the amount of dinosaurs in this enclosure, let's say Crichtonsaurus tolerates up to about 8 dinosaurs in total population. Hang on, where is it? I think, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, we got 4 Iguanodon, 1 Crichtonsaurus, that makes it 5. And because the social needs of the Pentaceratops are at 3, that evens out things quite nicely. So they should be happy once we pop them in there. I'm trying to remember, I think it was the Pentaceratops in one of the islands I was working on, caused me quite a few issues just because of how fussy they are. That's quite a common thing with a few dinosaurs in this game. And thankfully, while not to the same level as Stegosaurus, these guys do come pretty close. Oh, look at that limp. Oh man. You're kind of mad, but... Whoa. They see me rolling. I can't stop. Alright. Okay, so is that all of them? Cool. Let's move them. I'm having to speak quietly just because
En route to collect the
Mum
asset.
is currently asleep, and the last thing I want to do is wake her up. Because I've had instances before I thought I was speaking quietly, but in actuality, I wasn't quiet enough. So, yeah. That's the thing.
Asset collection request received.
In life, it doesn't hurt being considerate. Especially if it's for the sake of family. Family that you actually like. Alright, so plop them in there.
Collecting asset.
Ah, it's because it's probably got confused with the feeder.
Asset has been collected.
Alright, so while they're being moved, what to do with our first carnivores?
Transportation underway.
Because I've still, even though it doesn't look like much from up here, I've still got all this space to toy with. The only issue is probably going to be trying to get enough space between the viewing galleries and the actual exhibits.
Commencing asset transit.
Crichtonsaurus has to be said, makes the cutest noises as soon as it comes out of the hatchery. I know it's the Hammond Centre, but god damn it, that's J-Pog for you. I am so used to calling it the hatchery for that reason. And yeah, I'm sorry, Iguanodon is still not only the best herbivore in the game, but quite possibly the best dinosaur in the entire game for me. It's just absolutely no fuss with these guys whatsoever. You have to really go out of your way to make them upset. You could put them almost anywhere and they won't give you any grief, which is fantastic. Speaking of grief, yeah, I have to be watchful of this enclosure sometimes because the sauropods, they often walk away from each other. Okay, let me check these guys real quick. They're fine. Apatosaurus. The Mamenchis are fine. The Mamenchis should be alright because they always try and move each other, but I gotta move that Apatosaurus real quick. I know what will happen. So that horror story I've now told many times about my Pentaceratops incident with some Mamenchis in that build. And the last thing you want is some pissed off sauropods breaking down your fences, because they will do quite a significant amount of damage. And if they go through a crowd of people, then yeah, you're not in for a good time. Although unlike J-Pog, you won't exactly get penalised too much for visitor fatalities. Like your rating will go down, and you will have to try and build up your security reputation again. But it's not like in J-Pog where every single time someone dies, it just mounts up to lawsuits, you know, financial payouts. I believe there is something similar in this game, but it's nothing as severe as in your face as Peter Lutlow out of the bottom right hand corner of the screen basically chewing your ear off. Alright, come on. Thankfully, because of how big they are, sauropods are pretty easy to deal with when it comes to getting them knocked out. So,
acknowledging asset collection request.
so you can. There are certain areas you can put dinosaurs, but for some reason you can actually put them in water. I never understood that. Like, yeah, always check on these guys as well because Stegosaurus in this game also can get quite fussy. Yeah, I made 4 of them, so they're fine. There should be no issues in here whatsoever, because all the Stegosaurs in this enclosure are pretty much with each other all the time. Allosaurs are fine. Now, if they're coming into this for the first time with Roaring I got 2, I'll go over it real quick. Because of the Doctor Wu DLC update, they introduced genes that you can use to manipulate habitat and social requirements of dinosaurs. So I made it where the Allosaur will get uncomfortable unless you have another member of the species in the same enclosure, as it should be, because I do, again, I find it asinine that for some reason in this game they made Allosaur solitary, when it's kind of been suggested that Allosaurus at least was sociable, at least to the point where it hunted in two-man pies. That's all. You get what I'm trying to go with. You get what I'm trying to go. Right, now that they're a thing, let's see how the Pentaceratops are doing. They should be alright. Ooh. Looks like I was right on the money. Grassland and forest are thankfully alright. So I think this was quite the winner. Here's the thing. It may look like I can put in one more, but quite honestly, I'd rather not run that risk. Yeah, look at the Crichtonsaurus. If there were any more dinosaurs in here, then that would be it. Crichtonsaurus will have a complete hissy fit because of overcrowding, and it will try and break out. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. This enclosure here got some decent space, and everyone in here is happy. A lot of number crunching, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's cool. Ah, that's a cool shot. They're moving together at the same time. It's really nice that when you do get a few moments in this game to yourself and you get to see stuff like this, obviously not the dinosaurs clipping through each other, but when you see herbivores just moving together, it just creates such a nice feeling, and it's always just a pleasure to look at. The same thing went for J-Pod back in the day, when you would just fill a space with hadrosaurs and just watch them move. Okay, so again I need to check the sauropods because they get fussy if you turn your back on them for 1 second. Now the Apatosaurus should be fine now. They should be alright. Yep, they're all good. Alright, so now back to the main point of this episode. Carnivores. I'm not going to go anything too big for now, so I'm thinking possibly somewhere between the sizes of Velociraptor to Kentrosaurus, Osuchamimus, Baryonyx, that line. Med carnivores, even though they don't call them medium-sized carnivores in this game, something to that effect. Now, with Velociraptors, the minimum social requirement is 2, but with Velociraptors, ideally, you want a whole pack. So what I'm thinking maybe for the Velociraptors is putting them in here, although if that's going to be the case, I might have to increase the grade of my fencing. So let's get under with that, shall we? Now, I made an incorrect statement about possibly all the way back to the first episode about how enclosure sizes don't matter. Well, apparently they do. I was watching a playthrough of Best in Slot, and one of the very first things he mentioned in his Prehistoric Planet episodes, at least one of them, was enclosure sizes are important. And that kind of makes sense because a lot of the dinosaurs, especially when it comes to their grassland and tree ones, it's all done in the mathematics that involve like powers and squares. So I am going to be in for a lot of fun trying to keep these dinosaurs happy in such tight spaces, but I think it can be done. I have every faith. So get an extra one in there. Actually no, because the idea is I want to try and give my visitors, eventual guests, a good close-up view. Okay. So I think the idea is going to be is place these, get a little bit of water, and rather than place the trees already in and see what happens, I am going to put the raptors in first, then put in trees, and then see how they behave with the amount of foliage around. Alright, so thinking a little micro river system, let's put it that way. So maybe a bit more water. Hang on. I mean, I could be totally wrong on this, but I've never had an incident where the amount of water affects grassland at all. So, well, I think if I just... yeah, that'll do for now. And now, to the horror of Alan Grant, time to breed some raptors. And I'm gonna breed 4. Actually, do I have... yeah, well, I'm gonna... actually, no. Every time I've bred raptors in Operation Genesis, I've always, in my head, approximately made 5, because I always thought that was a good pack number. So, you know what, for this playthrough I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, something I agree with quite a few people, Velociraptors have among the worst skins in the entire game. Like, I would absolutely love it if we got the tiger striped Lost World skin for the Velociraptors. That's probably my favourite Jurassic Park Velociraptor look, to be honest. But we have to make do with what we got, unfortunately. Like, why can't we have something like the T-Rex jungle pattern, but for the Velociraptors? Because that has stripes. I haven't unlocked it from what I've seen. That looks so much better on a Velociraptor. Jurassic Park Velociraptors anyway. So while those guys are being cooked up, let's have a quick look on some of our dinosaurs. So, some Dreadnoughts are doing alright there? Wait, are they? No, they're not. They're not hungry. They're just waiting for the trees, because in this game you can only see sauropods actually feeding off of the tall herbivore feeders. But one thing I think would be a pretty neat touch is that every now and again, if you catch them at the right time, the idea of just seeing your sauropods actually eating upon the trees in the exhibit, especially if you just see the head of a Mamenchisaurus or Brachiosaurus poking out, just munching on leaves at the top of a tree. That would be pretty awesome. Speaking of mealtime, Brachiosaurus. And there's a little Gigo just wadling in there with no care in the world, being surrounded by giants. Oh, they might migrating, kind of. I have to get a quick look at this. Even though it's nowhere near the levels of JPOG, I do appreciate the whole alpha system in this game, because it's probably the closest thing we're going to get to proper herding and migrating. Like, the dinosaurs won't go too far, but if you get them at the right time and just seeing all of them move, it still gives off the general impression. And for me, that's good enough. Yeah. Now, I'm either going to get a notification that one of the raptor hatchlings is dead, or they're all going to make it. Because of the amount of modifications I made to certain dinosaurs in this game, sometimes, depending on what dinosaur it is, well, that's a cool view, they will fail to incubate. So that's something to keep an eye out for, especially with carnivores like Velociraptor and T-Rex and so on and so forth. Like, this is not going to be the thumbnail for this episode, but by God, if I had the Jeep, this would be perfect thumbnail material. Again, it's like I said earlier, it's just catching moments like this and just getting time to enjoy them. Great stuff. Again, as long as they're not clipping into each other, then we should all be fine. Now check on these girls real quick. Alright, Camara. Click on the Camara real quick. You're happy. You're happy. You're happy. You're happy. Oh wow, they're all huddled up together at the moment in this one. Now, one other thing I should mention is I'm exploring different dinosaur skins. For example, this is my first build where I've actually used the rainforest pattern, I believe this is, for the Ceratosaurus. But I'm basically trying out different skins what I think will help some of the dinosaurs stand out from what you often see them as. Now, that being said, Ceratosaurus has one of the best base skin colorations in the game, which is actually thanks to Jurassic Park 3, because that was its Jurassic Park 3 coloration. Alright, so they're ready. And open the gate. Now, actually, this is not exactly the same size, but this might give me a rough idea of what to put in their enclosure. Now for the stars of the franchise is Irexie herself, Velociraptor. I just wish sometimes the camera would actually pan from the other side, because for some reason I keep catching them when they're in the shadow on the opposite side where the sun's not focusing on them. Yeah. Now, thank God the minimum social requirement for Velociraptors is 2, because I imagine for a lot of people, a lot of players like myself who went for the main game and had to do a lot of raptor-based tasks, and because of what you're given, the idea of having Velociraptors that need at least 4 others, or 3 others rather, and because of how quickly they get uncomfortable, that would be a waking nightmare every single second to deal with. And no one wants that. Nobody wants that, considering raptors are a pain to keep happy with anyway. Speaking of which, let's have a look. So they need quite a substantial amount of forest and some grassland, and this enclosure just about cuts it. So while they're being sorted, let's have a quick look-see and try and compare and contrast, because I got a feeling I might have a bit of a fight on my hands with this one. But hey, pulled off a miracle with both Dilophosaurus and Deinonychus, so maybe 3rd time's a charm. We're about to find out. Once the 5th one is released, we can then go from there. I am pretty nervous, because while there's no one in the park, I am trying my hardest to make sure I get every single dinosaur in this build, considering the space you're given, which isn't much. Also, while trying to maintain some challenge by having a level of usable power, although at the rate this is going, I do have an inkling that just maybe I might have to switch the settings to unlimited power, which is something I didn't quite want, but I may have to resort to that, which will be unfortunate. Going back to enclosure sizes real quick. Fun fact, in order to try and get the forest and grassland levels just right for the Dreadnoughtus, I originally had a hotel around here, a second one, so I had to get rid of that, and very awkwardly place a viewing gallery here, which I didn't quite want in order to get this extra space. But it is what it is. Again, with this park, it's nothing fancy, no monorails, no innovation centres, it's just pure vanilla zoo style park. And so far it's going alright. The only dinosaurs that are giving me grief again are the Dilophosaurus, the Deinonychus, and the Troodon to an extent. And I did have one off-screen incident where a Chungkingosaurus broke out of the fence over here because it was too far away from its companions and it felt lonely. And it took out its loneliness on the fence. Alright. I have to check every second. The Camarasaurus, alright. Okay, cool. The Camarasaurus is heading in their direction. Cool. The Mamenchisaurus have been in this corner quite a bit recently. If they keep on getting stuck in this corner, I might move them. Because the AI for dinosaurs in this game is not too great, to be honest. They will often hover around the same spots for a while and would very rarely move. I guess it also depends on the actual dinosaurs in question. Okay, there's the 5th raptor ready. Release her! And get you down, so then we can move you, and then mess around with forest levels. Because, let's see, the trees in here aren't looking too bad. So the idea will be, once we plop them in here, I will put a few trees in here and hope to God everything works out. Because I don't really feel like wrestling with tree levels again. I already had to do that with both Dilophosaurus and Deinonychus and Dreadnoughtus to an extent. I'm not a fan of that, thank you. Oh yeah, and one thing I should mention in case, once again, you're new to this series, I've set Dinosaur Lives to Unlimited just because of how long the endeavour this is going to take. Trying to get everybody in here. Right, so are they all down? Okay. Let's get them moved. Here we go, this one. And then we can mess around with trees. Oh joy! Oh joy.
Picking up asset.
Whoop. Alright. Alright. I get it might be down to rendering issues and whatnot, like very much with the trees, but I do wish there was a faster method of transportation when it comes to moving dinosaurs. Because not only have you got to actually place where they're going to be, but you've actually got to wait for the helicopters to get to said location, and they move very slowly. They move incredibly slowly, which I guess can also be a good thing in case something happens while you're trying to get that sorted out. So I guess there is a balancing act. Right, now question is that all of them? Not management views, although they haven't exactly been there before. Okay, there we go. Cool. Watch them being moved very slowly towards their location.
Transporting asset.
Oh, we got some action. Who's sick? Who's gone full on sicko mode? Of course, it's Crichton's spirit animal. I guess what I can do while that's happening is I can actually do a little drive. Do a little drive through. And you know what? Rather than going through my usual route, instead I'm going to go through the other way through the power district, or the power plant district rather. At least from an aesthetics point of view, because no doubt guests will come through here because that's how the AI has been designed. But ideally, this is designed to be like some sort of closed off area, sort of like deal. I'm pretty happy with how this park's turning out so far. Obviously there's still a few kinks to work out, and obviously not all the dinosaurs are in yet, but I think I'm making okay progress. I was rather hoping for some of you guys' input on carnival suggestions, however, but that's probably not going to happen. So sometimes you just gotta get your hands dirty and do it yourself. Which is probably what I'm doing with these Velociraptors. That's the point actually. Look at that. And quick before I crash into something. Did I set up a gate for this? Did I set up a gate for this? Yes, I did, and I completely missed it. What are you sick with, actually? A word that I absolutely cannot pronounce to save my life. It's all in Latin, so you have fun with that, while I have fun with dealing with these turkeys from hell, the stuff of Alan Grant's nightmares. Right, what we got here? Of course their forest is at the bottom, so what we're going to do is flood this place with as many trees as possible. See what the heck is. Oh, phew! Oh my God, we actually did it! We actually did it! Hell yeah! Although what I might do real quick, I noticed this. Now, let me check their forest level. Okay, these guys are fine anyway because they're just about touching their forest levels. You're good. You're definitely good. And the Chungkingosaurus. They're definitely good. Phew. That was a close one. I honestly thought we'd have a dilemma on our hands. But nope. Velociraptors are being real darlings. Yes! You have no idea how happy I am. Really? No. Where are you at? Where are you at?
No diseased dinosaurs detected.
Okay, there we go. Now it's done its thing. I think it's because it's stuck in some trees. But I know what I'm gonna do. Let's check on these guys. I am so happy about that. Yay! Yes, I know the enclosure's quite barren. But if I add any more trees in, it might upset the raptors. But you know what? I'm gonna run the risk and see what happens. The idea is I wanna... No. Right, is that okay? Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! In fact, I might be a bit... Actually, you know what? Nah. I'm tempting fate too much. Tempting fate way too much. Now let's check on our raptors and see how they're doing with their dull, generic grey slime ball skin texture. Seriously, why can't we get any of the movie skins? If any dinosaurs in this game really need it, or any type of variety of skin colour, it's the Velociraptors. It's seriously these guys. Or girls rather. All the dinosaurs in the Jurassic universe are all female due to the cloning process, so I apologise if I keep referring to them as guys. I do not intend to. But that's just the thing. So if I end up offending anybody of that, then I apologise. I don't intend to do any of that sort of thing. So now that that went smoothly, I wonder who we could do next. Again, going for medium size, I'm not going for anything stupid. Not going for anything too big. So let's check on the size of our enclosures. So... although I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling pretty gutsy. And no, not T-Rex. T-Rex is a challenge within itself, because that requires so much forest. So all the small dinosaurs, all the small carnivorous dinosaurs are sorted as far as I'm concerned. So, you know what? I'm gonna do Baryonyx next. I'm gonna do Baryonyx. Because I don't remember having too much issue with them last time. Although, what I might do with the Baryonyx is I might experiment with skin colour and see what happens. So, modified genome. Like, I'm going in blind with their skins here, so I am just going off just raw instinct here. Rainforest pattern never let me down before, so I'm going to go with rainforest pattern. And then let's see what happens. I know the general thing of Baryonyx and Chungkingosaurus and extend possibly also Spinosaurus is to try and make their enclosures swampy, based on evidence of their locations of where they possibly lived. But I might do something a little bit different with mine. I don't know. Yeah, that's an idea actually. I have Chungkingosaurus in here and I have Baryonyx in this one. I like that idea a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna go for that. Okay, in the meantime, let's see. Yeah, the Baryonyx are going to take a while. So what I might do, depending on how much filler there is, I might cut at a few points to try and crunch down the length of the video as much as possible. Because I don't want to do what I did before and drag you guys through hour-long episodes of these. What am I doing? Because there's only 2 of each, I can also get 2 Chungkingosaurus. 2 Sukos. Get Suko. Get Suko. Terrible Disturbed reference, I apologise. Now, I know not a lot of people like this skin, but I am a huge fan of the red and black look. Oh, it's applied already. Oh, okay, I've done it already. Cool. But I do like the red and black edgy looking Suchomimuses. That's just a thing. I've always liked the combination of red and black. It's not an emo thing. It's just a combination I've just always liked. The same thing goes for black and blue, black and purple to an extent. I just like dark colours, especially when they're subtle and when they go together really well. You can get some really good stuff with that colours, those combinations. Okay, so those guys are going to take a while. I know what I should have done is basically put an incubator increaser, but you're only allowed a couple of slots. So what I did was basically I sacrificed incubation speed for success rate. Because if I did it the other way around, then I would have a lot of dead embryos on my hands. Unfortunately, not enough to save Christopher Reeves. Okay, so going, I don't know, I might have explained this, I don't know. So the idea is this whole bang shaboot around here is all Jurassic era based, while everything beyond here, including the Velociraptors, the Iguanodons, the Crichtonsaurus and the Pentaceratops, and the Troodons and the Deinonychus, all of this area is Cretaceous era based. Considering that's what most of the game's dinosaurs are, they all come from the Cretaceous period, late Cretaceous. So I tried getting some sort of consumer-friendly area in, including a hotel, but once I've completed this build through, I'm going to try and see if I can find a way to liven up this area a little bit. You know what? I'm going to have to echo a very popular grievance point, is the lack of decorations. Because over time, the more you play this game, the more that you find it harder to try and innovate your park builds, because a lot of them end up looking samey because you're just given such limited tools. Granted, not from software, no, Frontier were given little time because they were trying to release this game in conjunction with the travesty that is Fallen Kingdom, but which I still attest to this day. Like, I'm sorry if you love the movie, but I attest that the best thing to come out of the movie is this game. But because it was released with that in mind, there's a lot lacking in this game. One of the things being more tools and more options and more buildings to play with. Oh, we got a feeder, eh? Who's starving? And knowing my luck, that's probably give me the Baryonyx or the Suchomimus, and knowing my luck. Ah, here we go. Yeah, knowing my luck, this usually results in a chain reaction. So if one feeder goes down, very shortly afterwards you'll get the notification that another one will go down. In fact, while I'm here, let us
Request acknowledged.
get these sorted.
Adding to the list.
Because despite actually, you know what? What I might do is I might turn on unlimited feeders, but at the same time that might take away the challenge factor. I don't know. I'll have to think about it off screen. In fact, the way going, I might have to turn on quite a few options I didn't really want before. Oh, here we go.
Confirmed.
Because the Brachiosaurus is in the way. Yeah, that Jeep's kind of a field day. Right, while that's being amended, let's see what we got. Baryonyx. Let's get our Barry Manilows out. Finally! At this angle. Can you see it? Yes. I like this colour. Yeah, that was a good payoff. I like this. I do like this colouring. And I'm probably one of the few people on the earth that actually likes the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom Baryonyx design. I don't know, I know it's not accurate at all, but I just like the crocodilian look. Especially along its back. I love how they've done that. And like Iguanodon, Baryonyx is a special place in my heart. Because it was a dinosaur that was found in Britain. And I am a huge fan of that. So while these guys are being trained, I'm just going to check their company. Not that. That has no soul. Okay. So it's fine for grassland. No, it's fine for forest, but not grassland. Okay. I think what I was dreading with the Velociraptors might come to fruition with the Baryonyx. We'll see, though. We'll see. We will see. We will see. I have every faith. It's been going well so far. Something could go wrong. There's the first for everything. But I'm pretty confident that we will be able to work out something. In fact, what I might do is that I might end the episode with hatching the Suchomimus.
Asset requiring collection. Picking up asset.
Right, so while they're being set up, let us make sure they are fed and quenched. What about symmetry? If anything's slightly off, I'm going to have an issue with it. Okay.
Asset being transported.
Alright. Time to get some water. Yeah, because the hill.
Asset transportation.
What I'm going to have to try and do this, and then just cut it back a bit, just a tiny tad, because their big thing is going to be grassland, which I'm actually quite curious. How much forest can I get away with? How much forest can I get away with, rather? Because if I was able to pull off a miracle with the Velociraptors, then no doubt I might be able to work something with the two Barrys. No. Calm down, camera. Calm down. Little story real quick. I am working on another build, which I might show off when it's completed rather than while I'm doing this playthrough. And got a pretty cool idea. And it's one of those things where, because of the setup, I was actually able to get some really awesome views of the dinosaurs being carried by the helicopters close up as they were being moved. Sort of. That might give you guys a little hint as to what that build is going into. I have a couple of ideas for a few builds actually, but that all depends on the success of this series, and that depends on you. Like, I honestly don't know if this is interesting you guys at all. I know a good bunch of you have probably signed up for my mashups, but you have to understand, I cannot go on those forever. I have to make content like this in order to keep the channel going to some capacity, because there will come a time where I will stop making mashups. I'm going to hit the bottom of the well, because there's only so much you can do with mashing music, especially with the tokusatsu genre. Alright. Wait for them to drop. Well, not drop, but wait for them to be put in, and then we can see how fussy they get. Right, obviously. Wow, really? There's not enough grassland. Okay. Time to cheese this again. I got a feeling the Barrys might be the same way, but we can do this. No, I don't want it curved. Thank you. Yeah. Get it to about there. Let's see what happens. No! Damn it. Come on. Oh, really? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've jinxed it. I've jinxed it. There's not enough grassland for them here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Okay. Gone into crisis mode. I'm literally, it's gotten to the point where I have to make these really manky looking enclosure formations. Oh god. And why do I get the feeling that Sukamai was going to be... Oh, if only that border wasn't there. Okay, come on baby. Come on, I can't have you guys breaking out. Oh. But I have got to be really careful now. Because I've just about broke their grassland threshold. But what on earth am I going to do when it comes to their forest? You have to be pretty sneaky about this, I think. Because I want to try and get enough grassland in so I can offset their forest level. But that means I have to sacrifice a bit of this enclosure, which... Okay, you guys are fine. You guys are fine as long as there's enough forest. Now, I think the big one was, these guys. I'm in the clear for that. So now, time to get some green in here. And let's see just how far I can get away with. Ooh. Yes! Not today, Barry Manilow. Not today. Yeah. Yeah. Soak on that. Soak on these nuts. Oh, yeah. And I think that was a decent way to end it off. So if you've followed me up to this point, thank you guys, I really appreciate it. And for those who have just joined in, then please stay seated because you're in for one hell of a ride. But in all seriousness, seriously, if there are any of you out there who are actually enjoying this series and who are actually following it, please let me know. Because I don't want it to get to a point where I'm just making these and then I just find out that literally no one's watching them. So I keep insisting this, and I will keep on insisting this. Your feedback is honestly important. It goes such a long way, you have no idea. At least it validates what I'm doing. I hope you guys understand that. So with that, thank you for watching this episode. And I will catch you guys for the next installment when we put in more teeth. Starting with the Edgelords. This is Super Toe Remix signing out. Catch you later and stay gold.